Hey, Gohar Chaudhry here from I Am Stealth, and I got a really good call for you this month. This month, I am interviewing Benjamin Louie from Plenty of Fish, and Ben is an account manager there, and he's actually been my account manager there for the last few years. And embarrassingly enough, this is the first time I'm actually connecting with him. Um, but you know what? I figured now would be the best time as ever because I'm looking to increase my advertising on Plenty of Fish, and also at the same time, I figured if I'm going to pick Ben's brain, it might be a benefit to everybody who's listening to this who have thought about advertising on Plenty of Fish or is about to advertise on Plenty of Fish. Now, Plenty of Fish is very different than a lot of other advertising methods such as pay per click or pay per view. It's more leaning towards media buying, basically. So I guess the first question, Ben, I'm going to ask you is, I mean, you've probably been there since. I know at one time, Plenty of Fish, they filled all their ad inventory with Google AdSense.
Right.
And then at some point in time, somebody said, "Well, you know what? We could probably make more money with our own controlling our own ad inventory." And I'm assuming that when the platform came out, were you one of the guys that was one of the first people there when they rolled out the new platform?
Yeah, it actually went from Google Ads buying all the inventory to a point where we were taking affiliate ads, but we were uploading them ourselves on behalf of an affiliate, so much like a media buy. And then we built the advertising platform in-house, and that was a pretty big part of testing and making sure that works, and there weren't any bugs with that. So, yeah, it's been a while,
Yeah, it's
but
probably been
for
about what, 3 years now that you've been running the platform.
yeah, just over 3 years. Yeah.
You guys still sometimes fill it with AdSense ads?
Whenever stuff doesn't get sold, so it's usually the inventory that's really late in the user experience that Google buys.
Okay.
So it's in other words, it's stuff that doesn't convert on affiliate ads,
Oh,
basically.
okay, then you just kind of fill it in.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, and this is probably the number one question that everybody who's listening to this is wondering is why should people advertise on Plenty of Fish?
Well, for us, we're actually a very easy platform to advertise on, and that's for a few reasons. Based on some feedback, the number one reason is the support that you get. So you do get to talk to me or Cindy, who's the other account manager here. And in terms of, you may run into some speed bumps. So, for example, if your ads declined, if you're advertising elsewhere, it's actually really hard to get a hold of someone, even if it's just a little question. So, it's the communication between us and the affiliates that a lot of people treasure, and it's something that I think brings a lot of people to POF in terms of just pure customer service, and just making sure that no time is wasted and any questions that are asked are answered in a reasonable time frame. But that's kind of outside the platform. Within the platform, it's built in a way that's pretty straightforward and allows you to basically choose the people you want to target pretty easily. The barrier of entry is really low. It only costs $25 for a deposit to get started with us. And the returns are pretty good as long as you've done your work and split testing and whatnot.
Now it's interesting because one of the things that I did test on Plenty of Fish was credit report offer.
Hmm.
And I get a lot of people laughing at me going, you try to do credit report on Plenty of Fish. Although I couldn't get the campaign as successful as I wanted to, I did get conversions.
Hmm.
So I know that it really comes down to testing and tracking. But could you give the people who are listening to this some advice on what kind of verticals or markets do best on Plenty of Fish? Because I think the consensus out there is that only dating offers work well on Plenty of Fish because Plenty of Fish is a dating website. But what have you seen as far as verticals are concerned that people have had success with?
Yeah, and you're right. For us, dating is definitely the strongest vertical. Outside of dating, I've seen things such as health and beauty. It kind of goes hand in hand. People want to enhance their appearance in order to get a date or have an easier time getting a date. So things like weight loss or wrinkle stuff for women, or even teeth whitening. And for men, it's like the muscle building type of offers. I've seen stuff like dating info products. So it's stuff that teaches people how to get more dates or how to be more effective at dating. Uh,
Now, now, when you have guys or girls promoting, let's say, dieting or muscle building offers, do they try to gear it towards Plenty of Fish? Like the headline of the ad might be saying trouble getting a date. Maybe it's because of your bad teeth or something like that. Is that what they do, or do they get away with the traditional ad creatives that have been given to them by the CPA networks?
They're pretty traditional. I haven't seen many people customize their health and beauty products just for the dating niche. They just basically run what is given to them, and it works, right? It's the before and after shots, or it's just like a picture of um, a mom or whatever it is that mom makes whatever weight loss secret. I don't know. It's those typical ads that you see, so nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, let me ask you this, Ben, because you get to see all the back end information and everything. Initially when somebody opens an account, they deposit $25, but the caveat that they have to understand is that they don't get immediate access to the 300 by 250 creative, the leaderboard creative, the skyscraper creatives. They only get access to the 110 by 86 text slash image ad. In your experience and from what you've seen, what ad creative do you feel converts the best?
That depends on what kind of advertiser you are. So you are correct. When you deposit $25, you get the 110 by 80, the text ads. They kind of look like Facebook ads where you have picture on the left and then a room for a title and description on the right. There's also the 310 by 110 small banner. So it takes up the same space. It appears on the same spots on the website, except they're just pure graphic format.
Okay.
But in terms of what works best, it depends on you. We have guys that will strictly run the small ads because they're just terrible at making banners, and then we have guys who are really good at making banners that are just terrible at making ad copy. So really
Okay.
depends on you. There's not one dominant ad platform or ad size that just outperforms all of them. It just depends on how good you are and what your strengths are.
So you're seeing all the guys or all the advertisers create or use a different mix of all of the different ad sizes you're saying?
Yeah, there's a mix. I can't say that, the top 10% spenders only run this one ad size because they don't. It's all the ad sizes, and that's because it plays to the different strengths of each advertiser.
Okay. One of the things, and maybe you can fill this in for me. One of the impressions that I get from a lot of people who do media buys, they always tell me that it's usually the medium ad, the 300 by 250 that converts the best out of all the other impressions. What is your take on that?
I mean, when you're doing a media buy, the you can't really control where the placement of the 300 by 250 is, right?
Yep.
It could be just that, that's the one that gets just the best placement and thus leads to the most conversions as opposed to an objective, this is the size that performs the best, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I couldn't comment too much on that. I don't want to mislead anybody on that one.
Do all of your banner impressions appear above the fold?
Yeah. So
Okay.
everything's above fold.
Okay. Now, with Plenty of Fish, I know that you do give the advertiser the ability to split test
Hmm.
different ads. How many impressions do you recommend an advertiser run a creative before making a decision to pause it or delete it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And there are a few theories on this one. So one of them is purely by impression count. So just purely how many times you've shown the ad to the demographic that you're targeting, and that might work okay. Um, but it's hard to stick to a certain rule because, for example, if you're targeting the U.S. and males and just all ages, 20,000 impressions to that large of a group is really just skimming the surface. Whereas if you have 20,000 impressions to, 65 and older widowed males, it's a very small group. So what works best, I think, in my opinion, is actually a multiplier of what payout you're going to get. So, for example, if your payout is $5, you may want to spend $5 to $10 on each ad to see if it'll work or not. So I feel like that might be the best,
Okay.
and also in combination with relativity, right? If one ad is performing extremely well in terms of CTR and another ad is just doing really poor, then you may want to cut early just to kind of cut your losses on the poor ad. So my recommendation is always to do a multiplier of your payout.
So regardless of the ad creative you're using, Ben, the best way to always test is to always split test. You're saying two ads. If you're going to run two medium ads, always split test against each other. If you're going to run two leaderboard ads, always split test against each other. And is
Right.
that how most advertisers eventually make, let's say, money losing or break even campaigns profitable on Plenty of Fish?
Yeah, exactly. So we recommend between 5 to 10 different images always as a minimum per split test round. So if you do find a winner, keep it and then move on to your next 5 and 10. And this is like a weekly thing. So you do have to put in the work, and that's how you make your money. Guys that, will put in the work for a little bit and they'll let their campaigns kind of go stale over a few months, will obviously see their ROI drop as well. So make sure you're really diligent. Have a schedule for yourself where, Mondays, while you're having your coffee in the morning, that's when you find new creatives. Just have a routine, and that way you're on top of making sure your ads look fresh and, testing new angles in case you find some gold. Because if you test 10 things and 9 of them fail, but one of them does really well, it was totally worth it because that one angle could unlock just huge ROI for you, right?
No, very true. Very true. What is the best frequency cap to set a campaign to? And for those of people who are listening to it who don't know what a frequency cap is, Plenty of Fish allows you to set a cap on how many times an advertiser will see your banner in a session. What do you feel is the best frequency cap, Ben, to set it at?
Well, we do have three options. So it's per session, per hour, and per day.
Okay.
And then session's the fastest. It's defined as per login. So every time someone logs in, they'll see your ad X number of times. The slowest is per day, and that's just simply over a 24-hour period. When you're testing, per session is the best, just because you want the data as fast as you can to split test as much as you can. But there are certain types of campaigns, usually the higher payout ones, that do benefit the most from a 3 per day frequency cap. So these are offers usually that will pay out between $40 to $100. That would be a type of per day frequency cap, and then a dating campaign would be more beneficial for a faster kind of per session frequency cap.
Okay. Now, is it, and this is something that I started tinkering with, is it better to use an accelerated daily budget or for more accurate results, evenly spread out your daily budget throughout the day?
Uh, I would think as fast as possible just to get the data. And if you don't have a large budget, then you may want to consider going evenly throughout the day. So if you don't have a huge budget, go evenly. If you do, then get that data as fast as you can.
Okay. Do you have, well, tell me a little bit about your advertiser mix. Is it majority people promoting CPA offers, or is it more cost per sale offers, or is it more lead gen onto their own mailing list?
A little bit of everything. So the dominant one is cost per lead. So it's usually to a dating site.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's usually CPL. But in doing CPL, you can set up a landing page for yourself, which you can then capture leads for a mailing list, right?
Yeah.
So you can hit them with that and then kind of get a 2 for 1 there.
And what is your mix of users? Is it predominantly female or is it predominantly male?
It's slightly skewed towards male. I think 55-45 or 60-40, something like that. The average age on POF has actually dropped. It used to be 39, now it's 35. So the users are getting a little younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about the one thing that most people don't know is, well, most people who've done advertising on Plenty of Fish, they know that the way you charge the advertiser is on a CPM basis. So for every 1,000 impressions, the advertiser is charged regardless of whether there's a click on the ad or conversions generated. It's like media buying. You basically pay by every 1,000 impression,
Right.
and that's why it's really important that you're continually split testing banners until you get a optimal
Yeah,
click through rate that makes the campaign profitable.
exactly.
I guess the biggest question from a lot of affiliates is, will you guys or have you had discussions about ever introducing CPC bidding?
We have, and we've decided not to. And the reason why is because CPC campaigns do require an algorithm to try and pick out with, pretty quickly which ad should give you the highest CTR. So if any of you have had experience advertising on somewhere like Facebook, you'll quickly realize that it's really frustrating trying to split test a campaign properly because most of your impressions will go to the 1 or 2 ads that the algorithm thinks is going to deliver the highest CTR long run. So the onus of optimizing is on this algorithm that we would have to figure out. But with CPM, it's the onus is on you. You know, everything is gets split tested properly, and you can make the decisions on which ads to keep and which ads not to keep. So it's I feel that having the power in the advertiser's hands and having everything split tested properly is much more efficient than having one or two ads that we think would deliver the highest CTR. And you know, we always know that high CTR doesn't always mean the best return on investment either, right? So it's a bit of a catch-22 there. Um, Eventually, you know, if you do become a long-time advertiser and you have everything dialed in, CPM is a better option for testing. Some people may prefer CPC though, but you know, it works both ways as long as you put in the work.
Okay. Can you, one of the powerful features of Plenty of Fish is the demographic tools that you give to the advertisers. Can you tell everybody who's listening a little bit more about your demographic targeting options?
Yeah, so we do have so our targeting is like you said demographic based. So there's no keywords or anything like that, but we do have the typical, you know, country, age, gender, and then we have really cool things like you know, body type, ethnicity, if they drink, how much they drink, if they smoke, if they have kids, religion, income, job, if they have a car, you know, all those things are pretty cool. And we've actually expanded it as well. So now we have things like how many times they've logged in over their lifetime, how many pages they've clicked on between login and log out, how many ads have they clicked on previously. So you can actually target people who click more as opposed to click less, which is, I think, a really, really cool option. And we even have the ability to, once you use our conversion pixel, we can stop showing your ads to people who have already converted on your offer so you don't waste your money showing your ad to the same people over and over again. So I think that's a pretty cool option as well.
Well, let me ask you, and I've seen some of your demographic features, and I think it's pretty powerful. The only thing, the worrisome thing is the number of different permutations that you could possibly run.
Yeah.
Like, male 31, non-smoker, likes to
Right.
drink. The one thing I did notice, and maybe I'm missing the boat here, is that you don't really offer ad groups within an ad campaign, right? So you would have to basically create a separate campaign for each permutation. Is that true?
That is true. And we decided to do it that way because in forcing you to do it that way, you can then optimize your CPM based on the ad group. If you were to keep everything in one campaign, then that one campaign would just have that one CPM. So, you know, if you do find a group that's, you know, extremely effective, you can then, you know, increase the CPM and get more traffic for that one group and then do the opposite if it's not so effective. So that's the benefit of having it in separate campaigns. We do have a grouping feature now, which allows you to group campaigns together, and it'll show the campaign spend for that group at the top right hand corner, and that really helps people get organized with what they're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
What about third-party tools, Ben? I know that I ended up at one point purchasing Mr. Green's Plenty of Fish campaign builder. What do you feel about tools like that?
You know what? Anything that our affiliates want that we haven't had the chance to build and they build themselves, we welcome. Honestly, if it makes your life easier and if it makes your experience advertising on POF better, then by all means. We do work with guys who feel like, you know, if they were to build a tool that the community would benefit from, we'll help them split test it. We'll help them kind of tweak out the bugs. So yeah, no, it's all welcome. I haven't had a situation where I've had to tell someone to stop making the tool or whatnot. So, you know, as long as you guys find it beneficial, then I think it's all good.
Well, when you look at Mr. Green's campaign builder, basically it's a tool that allows you to create ads fairly quick on Plenty of Fish. Do you find guys who are using tools like that are able to find more profitable campaigns faster?
Um, there's a shameless plug by warning. there's a there's a program called POF Pro. It's written by a guy named Tom, and his website I think is iPixel, IPYXEL. It's in alpha stage right now, but from what I've heard, it basically takes the information from POF, takes the information from your tracker, and basically shows you what's profitable and what's not in one convenient screen. So in doing that, has led to, from feedback, a big ROI for a lot of guys. So if you do have anything that can bring in your tracking platform with the cost of the ad from the POF ad platform, I think that's a win.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no, we can't do that because we can't have access to your CPV lab or your tracking 202. But anything to make it a lot more clear and to make data analysis a little less cumbersome, I think is a win.
Okay.
Uh, the uploader is awesome, allows you to upload 100 ads within a few minutes as opposed to uploading it one by one. Yeah, I think that's good too.
The the mix of the people on Plenty of Fish as far as by country, what would
hmm
you probably say are the top five countries in volume of users that people should be aware of when running ads?
It's definitely the US in
Okay.
terms of volume is number one by far.
Okay.
Then Canada, then UK, then Australia, and then I think Ireland, and that's just for the English-speaking countries. However, for ROI, you should really be looking into doing some non-English campaigns. So we also have Brazil, Mexico, Spain, and France, and I've heard of just astronomical ROIs coming from those countries. The spend isn't too big. You won't be able to spend, four figures in a day, but if you're okay with a $20 a day spend, you can look forward to revenues of, $80 to $100 based on 20, which is really good.
If you're targeting the U.S. or Canada, could you quickly start spending five figures a day? Is it possible? Is there much volume?
Yep, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be going really broad. So you'd hopefully have a really good offer.
Okay. And Plenty of Fish is still growing as far as user base is concerned, right?
That's correct. Yeah. I think we're up to 55 million users now, which is huge.
Because I know that you guys initially, I think in your merchandise for promotion of your Plenty of Fish, just taking a look at it. Yeah, it says gives advertisers easy access to over 20 million users. You're saying that's 55 million, eh?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
in when I first started, this was like 3 years ago. We were doubling our user base. I think it's a little slower now, but yeah, it was like 100% growth year over year, and that was in the middle of a recession. If everybody remembers that, I guess people went from the paid dating sites, $40 a month to the free one, which costs you nothing. So yeah, we were growing in a time where everyone else was slowing down.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
One other thing that I always wonder, Ben, is, when I get clicks on some of my campaigns, I wondered if it was possible that I could get a demographic profile of those clicks. Like if I could find out if it was, if I'm between the ages of, I'm targeting between the ages of like 21 and 30, if I could find out the exact age of that person who clicked. Is that possible with Plenty of Fish?
Yeah, it is possible. We do have age, state, and gender tags. So
Okay.
these tags are available if you want to learn more about them. If you download the PDF from the login page of ads.pof.com, there's a getting started guide.
Okay.
And there's more info about them there. But basically, you put these tags in your URL, and if you're using, let's say, tracking 202, you just age C1 and C2 is state, C3 is gender. Then in your tracking report, it will pass through the age, the state, and the gender of the people that are clicking.
So then that way at least you get a general idea of the age group that's, I guess you could say, attracted to that ad or clicking on
Right.
that ad.
Right. I mean, if you target 40 to 50 and everything's coming from 45 plus, then you know to exclude anything under 45. If you use our conversion pixel, we do have a similar thing like that, but for conversions, which I think is really cool. So what this report does is it links or it lists the demographics from most likely to convert to least likely to convert. So at the top of your page, you may have something like education, bachelor's degree at 20% likelihood to convert. Then at the bottom, you could have, I don't know, smokes occasionally at 5%. Then you have to spend four times as much money on a smoker than someone with their bachelor's degree to get a conversion. So that report's available only if you use the conversion pixel.
Okay.
And that's as simple as just taking the tag and then getting your affiliate manager to place the conversion pixel for you on your offer, and then it'll just come in, and that's a super powerful report. A, to monetize and to optimize your campaign, and B, if you're a media buyer, you may want to do a little bit of research on the campaign you're running before you go do like a $50,000 buy. If you spend $500 with us and get that report, and you say, oh, single parents do really well for my particular product, I'm going to do a media buy with 50 grand on websites that are geared towards single parents because you have this heads up that it does convert better, right?
Do you have guys coming on to Plenty of Fish's ad platform to initially test before they do a big media buy?
Yeah, we have guys that strictly use us for research purposes that
Oh, really?
do not care about if they make money or not with their campaign. They just want to know the information because it's that powerful.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what other tips, Ben, could you give to somebody who wants to advertise on Plenty of Fish and try to make some money?
Well, if you're strictly a beginner, my advice would be to run a dating campaign. It's probably the easiest way to make money with us, and it's the one of the lowest costs of testing as well because the payouts for dating are usually $3 to $5. So a $50 budget should be able to cover your first round of split testing if you're doing 5 ads. So, pick a demographic. For example, U.S. female, 30 to 40 has kids. So you're targeting single moms. Make sure you pick a niche. That's where the high ROI is. And if you're new, you're not going to be aiming for $1,000 a day spend within the first week. A $10 a day spend may be more within your budget. So my advice is to start small. Don't stretch yourself too thin. Don't upload 10 campaigns and try to optimize all of them. Stick with one, learn from it, master it, take what you learned and then move it to another campaign and do the same, split test it, get effective ads, master it, and then move on to another one. And you just gradually build yourself up, right? And that's the safest way, I think, for anyone that's new to get on POF.
What are some of the weirdest markets you've seen people run ads in and make money?
um, I've seen a product for fake urine samples,
Okay.
and apparently that was doing okay for a week, and then it kind of went down, I guess, after they saturated it all. But
They must
that
have been
was like
targeting
2 years
males,
ago
I
ish.
guess,
But
right?
yeah, like athletes or something. I guess
It
that
must
needed
have been.
or I don't know, athletes or drug users or someone that needed fake urine. But yeah, that's definitely probably the weirdest one I've seen in a while.
That is weird.
Nothing so weird lately. Lately, it's
Yeah.
pretty tame.
Great. Well, Ben, I wanted to thank you for taking out the time to do this call with me, and I think it was of benefit to people who have been thinking about advertising on Plenty of Fish. So, for those of you who do want to start advertising on Plenty of Fish, there's a link below this video that you can click on. That will take you to the Plenty of Fish ad platform. And like Ben said, you mentioned that the other account manager is Sandy.
Cindy, so her
Cindy.
email is cyndi@pof.com,
Okay.
and she's awesome as well. So definitely reach out to her too.
So guys, you'll either get Ben or Cindy as your account manager, and they can, if you need any help, of course, they can help walk you through getting started on Plenty of Fish, and start advertising. So I highly recommend if you guys are looking for an additional source of traffic that you do test out Plenty of Fish. Like Ben said, the barrier to entry is so small; it's only $25, and once you do spend $1,000, then you do get access to their bigger creatives. But like Ben said, start small, get into the dating market, and don't go too broad. Pick a particular niche in the dating market, like single mothers that you want to target or something like that, and see what you can do with your ad spend. So Ben, take care, and I really appreciate this, and I'll definitely be in touch with regards to my own campaigns.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.
All right, thank you. Bye.